Salutations, fellow hobbyists, and welcome to another episode of the Hobby Head segment, where I think hard and loud about the hobby. The Perfect Grade Unleashed speculation video was a hit in my channel, but I didn't dive deep into this question enough. So I thought I owe you guys a follow-up to that burning question, hopefully to get a more definite answer. Now that we have an actual picture of what the kit is like, we can draw more theory. Before we go any further, we need to remember what the core of Perfect Grade is, and that's development. Perfect Grades were in the first place used to develop Gunpla technology. For example, the Perfect Grade Zeta is what made Master Grade Zeta 2.0 kit looking so good today. And the Perfect Grade Unicorn is the reason the MGEX Unicorn's LED lights integration in a 1/100 scale kit possible. Basically, make something big and shrink it down. Perfect Grade is the flagship for Gunpla development. However, as of recently, some other kits have been doing this too. Most of the Ver-Ka kits have been another wave of experimentation for Gunpla, and this does make me question the need for Perfect Grades. Is Perfect Grade still relevant? Let's dive in further. From that, Bandai can go two ways: end Perfect Grade or continue Perfect Grades with occasional Perfect Grade Unleashed releases. In other words, a soft reboot or a spin-off. So let's say Bandai go down the spin-off route. What will this mean? So, more Perfect Grades will come and newer Gunpla will be influenced by the Perfect Grades. And once in a while, perhaps release a Perfect Grade Unleashed. However, every Perfect Grade will advance more to be like the Perfect Grade Unleashed. And the next Perfect Grade Unleashed would be the new yardstick. That will make all the Perfect Grade Unleashed more superior to the Perfect Grade kits. And yes, with every release, the Perfect Grade will catch up to the Perfect Grade Unleashed. If that happens, Perfect Grades will always have a threshold to their design. In this scenario, I think the Perfect Grade will always stay below the price of the Perfect Grade Unleashed, not counting the Perfect Grade that comes with LEDs or premium Bandai. I'm referring to the baseline Perfect Grades. The other thing is, Perfect Grades don't get released often. So that would also mean we would only get a Perfect Grade Unleashed once in a blue moon, perhaps on their anniversaries. In conclusion to this approach, the more I think about it, I feel like Perfect Grades will be limited. There is not much more to improve on, and that will limit its progress. It'll become more like a 1/60th scale Gunpla than a flagship of experimentation. Unless they call this Perfect Grade Unleashed a one-off thing and ignore it entirely as the benchmark, then Perfect Grades will still continue as usual, being the experimental flagship. And Perfect Grade Unleashed will only be an achievement trophy. So let's talk about the pros and cons to this approach. Pro: Perfect Grade purists will be happy. Price won't overtake the Perfect Grade Unleashed baseline models. If they do, we can expect the next Perfect Grade Unleashed to be more expensive. Also, if a newer Perfect Grade gets released, we will get different Gundams not seen before. Cons: it can be confusing as Bandai will split focus on both lines. Also, eventual newer perfect grades will overtake this perfect grade Unleash in terms of technology. Also, perfect grade Unleash new or unicorn would take forever, and we will only get perfect grade Unleash once in a while. If you've made it this far, you probably like the contents of this channel, so hit that subscribe button to not miss out on more speculations. Now let's turn the wheels and change direction and think about the soft reboot approach. The perfect grade is no more, and perfect grade Unleashed becomes the new flagship for experimentation, the default highest achievement in Bandai's Gunpla repertoire. What will happen to perfect grade? Well, it will still be printed. We will still see the first perfect grade granddaddy in stores. If anything I've learned from the hobby is that many hobbyists don't view getting older versions of kits the same way as we do with phones. We're not always looking for the latest and greatest in Gunpla, and we love variety. For example, the Freedom 2.0 has been around for a while, yet I still see people buying the 1.0. So just cause it's old does not mean it's phased out. And even when a new version is considered a kit killer, it does not mean none would get the older versions. The other thing Bandai would do is reserve the perfect grade line for other franchise, such as Star Wars, Mazinger Z, or other licenses apart from Gundam. For example, the perfect grade Millennium Falcon. I can't see Bandai coming up with a perfect grade Unleash Millennium Falcon or anything else from the Star Wars line. What do you guys think? Comment below, please. I really want to know. I think that might be the only reason to keep the perfect grade name, because perfect grade Unleash sounds like a successor, a sequel, and ones looking into those kits might not be familiar with Gunpla and Bandai's grading system. Apart from that, we can expect the price to be higher and higher upon every release, and the development will depend on when they choose to release it. If it's like every perfect grade before, there will be a huge gap in between. So, the pros and cons. Pro: perfect grade has left the legacy, and moving on with the perfect grade Unleashed will protect that legacy. Also, perfect grade Unleashed will set the standards, and what we see is great. Cons: we might not get newer Gundams from the perfect grade Unleashed, mostly redesigns for a while. And also, the price will climb with every release. Thinking about the word Unleashed, I asked myself, what's so unleashed about this new RX-78-2? It's not really the gimmicks. The older counterpart does the open hatches, the pistons, the inner frame, LED, even the same scale. And what's new to it is the new types of sticker and magnets, more details, more parts, more complex, and a modern look to the design. Perhaps what it would look like in real life. But regarding looks, that's what they said the RG was, and we have this guy today. So that's debatable. Die-cast parts, you said? The first perfect grade had them too. Thus, the unleashed about it is what Bandai unleashed upon us after many years in this business. And we would expect every perfect grade Unleashed release after this to have all of the above and more. Anything lacking, and I can't see how it's a perfect grade Unleashed. So what is the game changer about the Unleashed line? It's more than a line. It's a new beginning and a benchmark for what follows. I know they showed this, but that's what Perfect Grade was back in the day too. The apex of Bandai's development. It's everything the older Perfect Grade is, and some more. It's an update, but also have that certain je ne sais quoi. I've been into Gunpla for many years, and in 2008 I had a chance to get my first Perfect Grade, and I wanted it to be the RX-78-2, the first Perfect Grade, the granddaddy. I was in the shop, holding the kit. All I had to do was bring it to the counter and pay for it, but for some reason, I just couldn't. Perhaps my taste has changed. The proportions didn't look right, or I felt that newer Master Grade had brought more to the table. I wanted more from it, and I knew that Perfect Grade didn't have it. I know I can get what I want from the Perfect Grade Unicorn, but even that, I couldn't bring myself to getting it, because the LDD is sold separate, and I just can't justify the price with it all. However, that's not the case with this Perfect Grade Unleash. It's the complete package, and I would get it if not for financial reasons. In conclusion, to be clear, I don't hate Perfect Grade. I love it. I grew up staring at the Perfect Grade kits on this one shop, looking up to them, hoping to get one day. So I don't hate it. But I want Bandai to take the reboot approach. I want this to be the end of Perfect Grade and follow up with Perfect Grade Unleashed, a new beginning. Thus, the name for this video. Cause let me ask you guys this. Do you want a Perfect Grade new Gundam? Or a Perfect Grade Unleashed new Gundam? I'm certain many of you guys would choose the latter. I also believe once we reach a Perfect Grade Unleashed Unicorn, it could transform on its own. And I would like that future. Now, the burning question, is this the end or not? The definite answer to that depends on Bandai. If they release Perfect Grade or a Perfect Grade Unleash Gunpla next. And it doesn't hurt to wait, cause Bandai keeps us busy. Have you seen my speculation video on the Gunpla EXPO yet? Watch those and you'll see what I mean. And whatever the next release is, it would only be more awesome. However, I saw this, and this makes me think it's a one-off thing, an achievement trophy. I hope that's not the case. So, tell me, what are your thoughts? Please leave a comment below. And if you like more contents like this, please subscribe to the Toyama23 hobby channel. And guys, fellow hobbyists, keep things awesome, keep the hobbies going, and keep the hobbyist alive. I am Toyama23, signing out.